Hello, everyone, and welcome to another crazy, weird, thought-provoking edition of the Zobo Show. My name is Mono.
Hi everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Zobo Show. I'm Faye. Can see today I'm not dancing. I'm trying really hard
So why are you not dancing
because
today?
I'm always dancing in every episode. So today I'm trying really hard.
But it's cool because I think our viewers, our audience, need to see you dance.
But it's not every time.
Like just rock it.
I'm a happy child. It's really hard. But I'm going to do some. Let me just do small.
All right, we got something pretty, I won't call it exciting, but I'll call it educative to talk about today. So Faye has the lowdown. You really did research on this.
I really did research on this
Get ready, everyone,
topic.
Because Faye is going to be giving it to us
exactly.
hot.
I have facts,
So
and
girl,
I have statistics, and I have stories, to back up this today's topic.
All
And
right.
today's topic, like I said, is very educative and very informative. It's a societal ill that's gradually being what's the word?
Eating
I'm
up
looking for yes.
the order of
That's
the
what I
day.
was looking for. It's beginning to really eat up our values, our morals, and it's very appalling. You hear stories about it, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, what could have been going through the minds of these individuals when they were perpetrating this act?" In not plenty English, we are talking about child abuse in Nigeria, and not just child abuse. We mean child molestation, sexual abuse in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You go to each day you open the newspapers, or you go online and you're trying to read the news, and then you see stories of a 58-year-old man rapes 4-year-old girl, or 32-year-old whatever rapes his own daughter. Really appalling stories.
A lot begins to go into your mind because you're just asking yourself. I mean, it's not something you even want to think about
At
because
all.
it doesn't go. It just gets you bogged and like, what a day we live in.
Exactly. Some will say, if you're very religious, you'll say we are in the last days. Yes, quite right, we're in the last days. But being in the last days does not mean that we should lose all of our values and our morals.
Exactly.
And at the same time, it doesn't mean we should fold our hands and not do anything about this issue. So today on the show, we'll be talking about these issues with stories, and then also coming up with solutions on how this issue can be curbed.
And driven away. Totally.
All right, so straight into the issue. Before we came on the show, I and Mono were talking about how it was stories of girls that were always reported.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there are boys too, that have been abused. I would like him to come from that angle then, before I get into my...
Well, we live in a very feministic environment today. It's the 21st century. Well, I'm not against feminism as a whole topic on its own. But when you look at things, when you talk about child sexual molestation, everything just boils down to ladies. That seems to be like the area where a lot of people are concerned about.
Yeah.
But hey, people, it's real, even for little boys.
Yeah,
too.
actually. It's
Very, very real. And I think in the USA, I think it's pretty
even more
disturbing.
prevalent. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah,
That's
for that of the guys. I mean, you find an elderly man, molesting a fellow young man, and then you just begin to wonder, how does it all make sense, and all of that. So I think we're not just going to be feministic and just pretend
we need
that
to look at it from both angles.
Exactly.
And molestation doesn't only have to do with touching the genitals. There are several forms of molestation: non-genital molestation, pornography, child pornography, and a whole lot of other things. When I was doing my research, I came across these statistics from UNICEF that says 1 in 4 girls are molested regularly, and then 1 in 10 boys.
In Nigeria or globally?
In Nigeria.
Wow.
They narrowed it down to Nigeria, and I now narrowed it down to the states, and I found out that in Lagos State alone last year, in 2017, A total of 4,035 cases were reported.
And because I can remember what you told me.
Yes, and
the beginning of the show.
Of course, I'm still going to give you some more. In Kwara, about 1,000. In Gombe, I can't remember all of the other stats, but those were the figures. And do you know the appalling thing? Just 32 legally persecuted cases in Nigeria. Out of all of these numbers, just 32 of them have been legally persecuted. And according to our constitution, anybody that is involved in rape has like a maximum of like 14 years.
Boy.
And then there's also a sentence for attempted rape, but I really cannot remember that at the moment. There's also a sentence for attempted. So it's not just when you rape, but even when you attempt
to do that.
And we have seen that the reason why some of these cases were not prosecuted is because the prosecutors themselves, that when I mean prosecutors, I mean all of the agencies that are involved from the angle of the government, have been compromised one way or the other. Let me give you a very shocking story. This story was told by the judge that presided over this case. There are even two stories like that, but this was told by the judge that presided over this case. She's a woman, and then she was telling us that day about the decay in the judiciary system. And she gave us the story of a woman that fries akara by the roadside, akara bean cake, all my Oyibo people, bean cake, by the roadside. And she had a 6-month-old baby. Now, being by the roadside, you could expect the fumes and all of that from the fire
to affect
the baby. So there's this guy that comes around, he rides Okada, motorcycle, going, anyone you understand. He rides it, he's from her place. They're from the same locale. So he comes and like, madam, why you allow this pikin? It's someone she's familiar with. So what the guy does is he takes the baby with him.
Oh my.
And he takes her on a ride on his bike and then brings her back. So by the time he brings her back, the mom is almost done with the frying for the day. So she just takes the gist and she takes the baby home. Only for them to realize after a while that this baby was losing weight, this baby was falling ill. And they took the baby to the hospital. They did all of the tests you can imagine and they didn't see anything. So the doctor said they should do an x-ray. And when they did an x-ray, oh my goodness. As I'm saying this story now, there are goosebumps on my body. But I have to finish it. And when in the baby's stomach, they saw semen. Lots and lots of semen.
Let's take a break and just let this sink in. This is really, 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 really.
Oh my goodness. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stay with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Far too kind. Yeah. Now what the hell are you waiting for? After me, there should be no more.
Press karaoke box. Create.
Welcome back to the Zobo Show. We're talking about child sexual molestation in Nigeria. Before we went on the break, I was telling a story,
a really sad
story, that was very touching. That we had to quickly go on a break and then return. And then I stopped at where they pumped the baby's stomach and then they saw semen. They had to pump out the semen out of the baby's stomach. The baby later died. The case was taken to court. Unfortunately, the parents had to drop the charges because they're like, the baby has gone and they're not very cash endowed. Yes, they did.
Now, this is the problem.
They're not very cash endowed. And then, so they had to, but this is what the guy said he did because he later confessed. And he said this was what he did. That each time he took the baby from them, he took the baby home. A 6-month-old baby only knows how to eat and suck. So he puts his genital in her mouth. And then she sucks till he comes.
My.
It's completely
Now, this story is getting me really boiling right now, and I don't think I can really hide my feelings. This is the problem. How are we going to curb such issues if we keep having people allow things to fly like that?
Let me even give you
another.
He
wants to be prosecuted, and then they say no.
Let me give you another one. See, that one is even from the family's angle that said no.
Seriously.
This is another one from the same woman. She's telling us about a 58-year-old man.
Yeah.
The only thing I can call it is maybe he was wearing a prostitution ring because that's the only way I can tell it. Just 2 students coming back from school. When they close from school, they branch his place first. He sleeps with them and he gives them 200 naira every day. He gives them 200 naira every day. The case got to her desk, and she said no, this guy wasn't going to go scot-free. And then she was getting pressures from different quarters. They're like, you have to let this case die. You can imagine who are the people pressuring that this issue should die.
They are demons from
What
hell.
if it was your own daughter?
Exactly.
What then happened? Because another person's child, or because he suddenly knows what uncle or
Seriously?
his son supposedly connected somewhere? You know the worst part
This
is
is
the
crazy.
fathers that sleep with their daughters.
I mean, that one, I don't even know what to call it. Is it winch from hell?
That one they are following
coming
them
to
from their
consume?
ancient village.
You know, Faye, now that we've really thrown it out there, people can really see how sad and, it sounds demonic to my ears.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk solutions, really, because now we heard, a recent story that was actually training the news media about a particular TV show host who talked about the fact that she's not going to allow her husband bathe her young daughter just because of stuff like this. And she received a lot of backlash that how can you say that about your husband? And thankfully, being a good man who loves his wife, stepped up his game by supporting his wife. Now, what do you say in the midst of all this? Is that being too careful? Would you call it being too careful?
That's the woman saying she can't let her husband.
Exactly. I
Well,
think we all need
according
to come up to this level.
Yeah, according to the man's statement, he said he was the one that actually laid the rule down in his own household. It wasn't the
Beautiful.
wife, but the wife just said it like it was hers, according to his statement. He said he always told his daughters to be careful. They shouldn't sit on any man's lap. Just don't let any man hold you.
Like in the form of
quarters.
uncle.
Yes,
we live in this day where you're like uncle.
I think it's even much
and then
better
uncle
now.
carries the lady.
My wife.
the
Don't ever
child,
say my
and
wife.
Eat
On
the
his,
child on the
his
lap.
Do you know? It's even much
And
better.
then
It's much better than when you look at the
Nature
uncle.
takes its course,
It's better when you look
and
at
it
the
comes too
uncle.
late.
Uncle's scenario, because
Yeah.
when we were growing up, there was more of uncle. Our parents were very trusting with relatives.
There's no
but
uncle
right now,
again,
a
oh.
lot of parents are becoming more vigilant, which is
Seriously.
good. Which is good, but there's still a lot more to be done.
Parents even don't want their children to go on holiday breaks. I mean, that era is over. We're not living in that era again.
And let me go back to my statistics. I saw that it was prevalent in Lagos and Ogun State more than every other part of Nigeria.
Now, Faye, we're
And
talking about
because of the
states.
busy.
Sorry, let me just quickly mention this.
Okay.
We're talking about states that have proper record keeping. Now,
Yeah.
you can't just say that it's more prevalent
Not
in those
even
states.
not even proper record keeping now, but reported cases.
Exactly.
People that
Before
came
the
up to report about those issues.
Then those who will not
There
even
was even
report.
one that came about that the man was sleeping with a girl, I think about a 4-year-old girl or something. It was somebody around
Yeah.
that saw it, took pictures of it, and put it on Twitter.
Oh my.
So yes, people are actually becoming more enlightened about things
this
to
matter.
do. Do you understand? And we are gradually going back to the days of being our brother's keeper. So society too is standing up because society has a role to
We
play.
need to.
So for somebody like that, yes, kudos. Please, if you ever see something like that, please bring it up to social media. We'll always carry this course. But the problem is we make a lot of noise, create a lot of awareness about it, and nothing is done.
Now, before we quickly wrap up, you hear people talking about stuff like, this is going to tarnish the family name.
Image.
Let's look at the greater good. What greater good is there to look at?
The truth is,
And then the person, oh my God, it reminds me of this TV series. I know this is fictional now, but you see a situation where someone, goes into depression and then takes her life. And then you start asking yourself, she has to suffer at the detriment to protect the family name?
Can you imagine?
Oh boy.
In my days of in all of my work, because I counsel people. Madam Counselor is the outfit. You need help.
Yeah.
You come on. We'll drop the handle
It's
where
already
the show
dropped.
is going on. So, but you can just like Madam Counselor on Instagram or Facebook if you need help or anything. Just let us know. And one of those issues, I was discussing with a fellow counselor,
Yeah.
and she told me of a girl that was raped at 2. Okay.
Boy.
Now this girl all her life became a nympho. Now she's a nympho. What's the complete word? I don't want to mispronounce. But she looks for sex in every available corner, wherever she can get it. To the point that she got to school, she got admission to school, her mates were in school. going for tutorials and all, and she was camping with a boyfriend somewhere, to the point that her CGPA became so low that she was advised to withdraw in her first semester, not even in her first year, in her first semester. She wasn't even given the grace or getting to the second semester. Now this girl has a huge problem because it was even this my other counselor that walked up to her and she opened up to this lady. If she did not open up to this lady, she would have continued, in that issue. So please always speak out. And when parents or guardians or whosoever, when victims of this issues, because children talk.
Don't be too defensive.
Children talk. You need to let them talk. And when children talk, be honest with them, deal with them honestly, listen to them, pursue the matter till you make sure that the perpetrator is caught, apprehended, and dealt with in the right possible manner. Don't say shut up, you don't know what you're saying. Let the child talk.
To quickly add to what you said and to wrap things up, because we're almost out of time now. Parents need to educate their children. Stuff don't just happen. When you see the signs, when you see that, uncle is trying to reach me too much, it gets to a point where you're like, then report to your mom or something, and they have to really tackle it right there. Sorry, uncle, sorry. The world we live in today, a lot of crazy things are happening, and we can't we can't take the chances, on the innocence of our children and allow things to just happen like that. It's time for it to end. This topic is so juicy that
it's so has even finished.
It's finished.
And I'm still always going to refer back to my research. I found out that in 2003, Nigeria adopted the Child Rights Act. That was domesticated by the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, but only at the federal level. A lot of state assemblies have still not adopted, they've still not passed this act into law. We have just 24 states in Nigeria out of 36 that have actually passed this act into law. So the states too the government, they still have a lot to do. They have a lot to do. So think about your own children. Think about your children unborn. Think about the generation you're leaving behind. Do you want the generation you leave behind to be completely scarred without morals and values? It
is well, Faye.
Is that what we want? Let's consider that and be our brother's keeper. Let's rise up to the act.
And
you
sorry,
and I we have a lot to do.
I must say this before we just wrap it up now, really, because we don't have enough time because we're digital. So definitely when we get on TV, we'll have more time to really talk about this. Now, to really wrap it up now, parents do really have to be careful. Ensure your children don't wear too short skirts. And wait for the proper age for a girl to put on makeup. You check around today, you see young girls putting makeup on, and then we saw one recently on TV, and I and somebody were just watching, and I was just like, but she's too young. She's trying to be a presenter and all that, but let girls be girls, let ladies be ladies, and women be women.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
please drop your comments and contributions. Let us know what you think about it, because I know you're waiting to give us.
Sharing.
You can have
Thank
it.
You.
Please let's just know your thoughts on this issue. And if there's any other thing you want us to talk about, please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to share this video on all of your social media platforms. We have our own handles rolling on the screen. So we were looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, and from me, Figgy, on the Zobo show today is Lights Out Ace.
And of course from Morno, aka Big Daddy. I'm just kidding. It's bye for now. Thank you all so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.